You have a new message from an ancient treasure. In the same museum, there are two swords, which respectively represent victory and failure. One belongs to the winner, Gojian, king of Ye. The other belongs to his lifetime enemy, Fu Chai, king of Wu. Sword is regarded as king of weapons because it is most suitable to kill the enemy with one stroke. Unlike spear, it cannot be far away from your enemy. Unlike broadsword, it cannot be swung freely. Unlike cudgel, it cannot be used on the weak. A great swordsman would hide his sword deep in the arms and forbear for the best chance. Only at the very moment when the enemy comes close enough would the swordsman strike for the decisive stroke. Only one little stroke for the big victory. Fight for the good and be forbearing. These are the morals of the sword as well as the belief of a nobility. The images of the swordsman can commonly be seen on the stone statues of Han Dynasty. Yurong, a swordsman faithful to his friends. Zhuanzhu, a swordsman assassinating the king valiantly. Jia, a swordsman true to his words. Zhengke, a swordsman of great resolution. They all treat their swords as life and never show their strength before the weak. But when they fight with the swords, even the king, being heavily escorted, would panic. Now, let's come back to the story of the very first beginning, the war between Wu state and Yu state. In fact, Fu Chai is not an inborn loser. His father was killed by Gojian, the king of Ye, so his belief of revenge triggered the first war between the two states. In this glorious victory, Gojian was trapped in Kuaiji Mountain. The once wise king prostrated himself before Fu Chai, becoming a horsekeeper. The 3-year slavery of Gojian made Fu Chai relax his vigilance and earn himself absolution. To remind himself not to be lazy, Gojian slept on the haymow, with the gall hanging above the head for time-to-time taste. Finally comes the chance for Gojian. When Fu Chai was in the midst of the Northern War, Gojian raided the capital of Wu state and gave the fatal stroke of the sword. By the city wall of Gusu, Fu Chai became the vanquished. He begged for mercy, but Gojian didn't give it away. The victor can decorate his sword to his heart's content, because it is the dignity of the winner. On this bronze sword, the swordsmith used the best materials. He carefully polished in places where there is no real value. The blade of the sword is ribbed and decorated with black diamond pattern. Close to the hilt is inlaid with turquoise. 11 concentric circles at the bottom are neatly arranged, which ashamed the CNC technology 2,000 years later. Gojian conquered Wu state, becoming the last king of the spring and autumn period. Sword in hand, when he boarded the throne of the Liud, he knew deeply that all his endurance deserves. With infantry and cavalry shouting "Long live," with his lifetime enemy's body starting to decay, he, as the most powerful man in the world, deserved a splendid sword which can shock the Liud, who are always ready to revolt. You have more new messages waiting.